At VuWall, we're specialized in visualization for control room, which includes video wall management and KVM operations. And through the acquisition and the partnership with G&D is specialized in KVM. So lots of people ask us, okay, so are you competitors or not? Absolutely not. And that's the point of this presentation. Explain a bit what the differences are and how complementary we can be. And it shows you the strength of our partnership. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with KVM, KVM stands for Keyboard Video Mouse. And it's a system that allows controlling different computers that are on segregated networks from a single operator station. So it's a non-intrusive way to access remote computers, basically. And in the families of KVM, there's really three main types of KVM: the traditional KVM, KVM-over-IP, and the low bandwidth KVM-over-IP. So the traditional KVM, as it sounds, it's the original way the KVM was developed, and it's still very in use today. But with the video over IP, there has been some evolutions, and I'll show you a bit how that goes together. So first of all, the traditional KVM, how does that work? So you have the source computers here, and you have the operators who want to access any of those source computers. So any source computer is connected to a little module, a transmitter, that transmits the video, keyboard, and mouse signals to the KVM matrix switch. So each CPU module, those transmitters, is connected to a slot in this KVM matrix. And the same goes for the console modules. So each operator doesn't have a computer, but just a console module that is connected to the matrix switch. And through that system, every operator can access any of those source computers. So this system is very robust, near zero latency. So it's a sub 10 millisecond latency. It's pixel perfect. So that technology guarantees that every pixel is visible to the operator and is not being transformed. The advantage of this solution is that it doesn't require a network infrastructure. It is plug and play. You just connect your modules and your system is up and running. No configuration needed. There's a limitation. It's a local system. You can only use it within the frame of a campus or a building, not much more than that. So with 140 meter, which is about 400 feet, am I right? Or 10 kilometers on fiber from each side of the matrix. So that goes within a campus. Very solid solution that is still very widely used today. So the next solution is exactly the same functionality, but the KVM matrix is replaced by a network switch. So all the transmission goes through a networking protocol, but the result is the same. So pixel perfect, local solution, near zero latency. So the advantage of such a solution is that you don't need to know in advance how many slots you will need, or how many destination slots you will need. You can just connect all the cables on the network switch, and it will work. That said, you still need a networking expertise to deploy this kind of system. But in terms of performance, it's exactly the same as the other system. Again, because of the high bandwidth of the transmission, this type of system is also limited to local deployments on the building level or a campus level. And then comes the third type of KVM control, where here we replace the transmitters, so the CPU and the console modules, with encoders, KVM encoders, so that encode the signal from video and keyboard and mouse, and decoder nodes, which in the case of VuWall, it's called the PAC module. It's a decoder that allows to decode not only one stream, but multiple KVM sources on the same screen. Same architecture through a network, but a low bandwidth. That means across a 1 gig network, you can transmit that information. That means you can go way beyond just a simple campus, where you can control computers anywhere in the country or on another continent from your control room. So it's very interesting for remote control centers that are interconnected. It's also ultra low latency. I would say the latency is not as low as the two previous solutions we showed you. We're talking about here sub 40 millisecond. Still very acceptable for most KVM application, but in some applications like air traffic control or broadcast live events, that might be a bit on the edge. So the other solution is more acceptable. Since there is encoding, there is some lossy, it's a lossy compression. So we're not anymore in a pixel perfect solution, although we're still decoding with a 422 column depth, which is very acceptable. So visually, the difference between this solution and the other solution is, for example, if you had an Excel spreadsheet on those computers, if you show it on your destination, the lines of the different Excel cells would be slightly blurry compared to the other two solutions where the line will be as sharp as the source. So again, in some applications like air traffic control, this would not be acceptable, but in many security applications, emergency centers and stuff like that, that's perfectly acceptable. VuWall and GND are partnering together to offer this wide range of KVM solutions. So the two first solutions are the specialty of GND. Traditional KVM and KVM-over-IP. The feature set is pretty much the same, and the destination, the markets and the applications are the same. It's just a different type of infrastructure. One additional advantage of this solution with GND is that GND secured those certifications which are very important in highly secured deployments. So the GND KVM solution is probably the safest KVM solution you can find on the market today. For the low bandwidth KVM-over-IP, where you would use that is when you have a lot of different types of sources, where on the destination you need to have a multi-view, multi-sources, and where you have a mix of cameras, computers, dashboards, and also very interesting for multi-site. That said, it doesn't mean that those two applications could not be seen together. For example, in a control room where you need a pixel perfect on your desktop, you may be ready to accept a 422 encoding on the video wall. And with VuWall and GND working together through the same software, we'll be able to manage all those different display surfaces together. So make it much easier for integrators to deploy it and easier for end users to use it. Where the idea is that an end user can just drag and drop the content to any surface without thinking, okay, is that a GND source or is that a VuWall source? You just drag and drop and the software will tell you where you are able to drop that source. So the compatibility is all managed through the software. So different signals and different destinations. So what this partnership brings is really a broadening capability for control room applications.